So our graduation today is going to begin a little differently than in the past. I'd like to welcome you all to our fall 2022 graduation. We're going to have our graduates and puppy homes come into the auditorium together. Thank you. I'm Janie Kramer, and I'm blessed to be the Executive Director of this wonderful organization, Canine Partners for Life. I want to thank you for joining us for this fall graduation. Today, we are just thrilled to have you here to celebrate with us a new CPL breeder mom, a new demonstration dog, a facility companion partnership, and 3 full-service teams. Graduates, please be sure to be comfortable and move around as you need to. If your dog alerts and you need to lie down, please listen to your dog. You have all worked so hard over the past 3 weeks in team training, and we are so proud of your accomplishments. Enjoy your graduation day, and we will be anxiously awaiting to hear about your journeys after you return home with your dogs by your side. I would like to start by thanking our Canine Partners for Life Board of Directors. They share their time and talents as they work as a team to oversee operations and strategically plan for the future needs of the organization. Their decisions are guided by our CPL mission and core values. Thank you for your continued support and dedication to our mission. Later in the ceremony, Pat Peters, one of our board members and CPL graduates, will say a few words. And she'll be accompanied by her partner, Sergeant. CPL is very blessed to have 2 groups of supporters who are essential to filling the CPL mission. I would like to thank our donors and our volunteers. Our dedicated donors support the CPL mission through their generosity, and they give our team the resources we need to place well-trained service and companion dogs with individuals with disabilities. These partnerships are life-changing. As you listen to our graduates today, please know the impact that your gifts are making to enhance the lives of others. I would like to thank our vet sponsors and specialists who generously provide free and discounted veterinary care for our dogs in their 1st and 2nd year of training. This includes vaccines, radiographs, spay and neuter surgeries, ophthalmology exams, and we really appreciate that you have chosen to support the CPL mission. When each of our puppies are born, our volunteer whelping team come together to give these puppies much love and care, as well as stimulating their minds and bodies as they grow. When they are born, the puppy's eyes and ears are closed, and they use their sense of smell to find their mom. When they move into the growing room from 5 to 8 weeks, They use their very sharp teeth to untie your shoelaces, nibble on your toes. At this phase, the cleanup in aisle 9 becomes a full-time job, and even their mom walks away. At 8 weeks, our community puppy home volunteers raise a puppy until they are 6 months old. These volunteers open their homes to raise or temporarily care for a puppy. They often donate a carpet or piece of furniture along this journey. Next time I'll have everybody kind of bring their segment, the chairs and table legs. Puppy raising is a huge commitment, and the time with your puppy goes by quickly. When your puppy is 6 months old, he goes to prison, where CPL's prison puppy raising volunteers continue his training. It's a bittersweet day, and although there may be tears in your eyes, you know in your hearts that you have been preparing your puppy to be successful in the next step of their training. Puppy raisers make an amazing contribution to enhance the life of their dog's future partner. During the ceremony, we will formally recognize those who have raised and trained each of today's graduating dogs. If you see your name listed on the presentation, please remember to pick up your photo certificates at the end of the program. Right now, I would like to recognize everyone in the room who is a current volunteer. Please stand and remain standing as I call those who are currently impacting the lives of our puppies and ultimately our mission. Please hold your applause and remain standing as I call each group. Thank you. Please stand if you are a whelping volunteer. A breeder home. A temporary or full-time puppy home. A volunteer in the prison puppy raising program. Cuddle Time volunteers. How about our dog walkers? You can raise your hand if you're double duty. Our socialization handlers. Transport volunteers. A weekend dog sitter. I see hands going up. Don't have enough? A home companion training home. A kennel helper or play yard volunteer. A demonstration volunteer. An office or event volunteer. If you're a board member, please stand at this time. Thank you to each and every one of you. We could not have our program without you. Let's give it up. We are also blessed to have a staff of professionals who are passionate about the mission, happy to share their expertise, and dedicated to working as a CPL ambassador. From the development team, business office, and our administrators, I see a firm commitment to striving to be the best organization we can be. The work of the program department is a group effort from all staff who care for the well-being and enrichment of the dogs in the program, from the puppies in training to the second-year dogs in the kennel. CPL's professional trainers, Valerie Skinner and Victorio Scaviccio, are passionate about training the dogs to meet the individual needs of every recipient, matching the right dog with the right person, teaching many service skills during team training, and spending so much time with these dogs so that they have good house manners and they know their skills. I would also like at this time to acknowledge the members of the program team. Please stand as I call your name. Deb Bauer is not here today, but she's our program director. Christina Billy, who is our graduate support coordinator, is also not able to be here. Jerry Ortega is our harness technician. Katie Fosnaud is our senior kennel assistant. And our kennel assistants are Kate Billheimer, Rachel Weierbach, and Jalen Burgos. Thank you to our team. As you can see, there are hundreds of people who have helped prepare the dogs graduating today for their journey ahead. Please know that your support is critical to changing the lives of individuals with disabilities and those who are in other situations of need. CPL is strong, thanks to all of you. As we move through our program today, we're going to be talking about the 2-year journey of our dogs that start at the time of their birth. You're going to hear about challenges they've overcome, funny stories, their quirks and talents, and the many people who trained and gave them love along the way. You'll hear about the team training journey, who our graduates can speak to, and they will later in the ceremony. It's an intensive 3 weeks of training, learning about healthcare of their dogs, training techniques, public access rights, and about the service dog industry. The on-campus part of training is where the partnership begins, the bond is started, and the service skills are practiced and perfected, along with trips into public, helping our teams prepare for the experiences they will face as they return to their homes. Finally, we will hear from our graduates. This is a celebration of your partnerships, and we wish you the best in your future adventures with your canine partner. To begin with our graduating dogs, I would like to introduce first Amber. Amber's puppy home, breeder home, is Barb Moore, who isn't here with us today, but Jackie Bradley, one of our wonderful volunteers, has brought Amber here. The breeder was Weber's Golden Retriever Breeding. That's Susan and Al Weber. Amber, sweet Amber. Amber joined the CPL family in 2021. And she had quite the journey in just her first year. Barb Moore, her breeder home, shared some words with us. She said when Amber first came to CPL, she was scared of this big new world. She disliked getting into cars. She didn't know how to go up and down steps, or even how to chase a ball. She was a breeder dog. In just a few short months and lots of love from CPL staff and volunteers, Amber has overcome her fears as well as learned many new things. She enjoys her walks and playing with her toys, and she loves to chase the ball. Sleeping in the house took some time getting used to. Every night around 3 a.m., Amber would wake up and put her paws on the bed with her nose between those. She would look at Barb. She'd roll over, give her some scratches on her head, and tell her everything was all right. Amber would lay back down and go back to sleep. This past June, Amber gave us a litter of 10 beautiful puppies. We are so thrilled to have her in our breeding program and part of the CPL family. Congratulations, Amber. So Amber is a pettable dog, if you'd like to pet her after, as is Morgan, and I will introduce Morgan now. Smiley Morgan. I'd like to announce the individuals and organizations that have contributed to Morgan's journey to become CPL's demonstration dog. The breeder is the ABC Breeding Coalition. The Dom is Rini, CPL breeder, a retired breeder. The sire was Rico from Susquehanna Service Dogs. Morgan's namer is Donald and Ethel Shepard. The puppy home was SCI Somerset. And the breeder and demonstration home are Diane and her Penny. This time last year, Morgan was graduating as a breeder dog. This is possibly the first time in CPL's history when a dog is graduating twice. Anyone who has met Morgan knows she has a gentle spirit and is often seen with a smile on her face. She had her first litter of puppies in 2021. Her breeder home, now demonstration home, Diane and Herb, would like to share these words. Morgan came into our home more than 3 years ago as CPL breeder dog. She is so joyful with her playful wiggles and smile that her nickname at home is Miss Wiggles and Giggles. As a breeder, Morgan brought some beautiful puppies into the world. She was a playful mom, and I enjoyed watching her play with her puppies. Diane does feel that she believes her real motive was to be able to claim all the toys. Morgan's puppy home at SCI Somerset, where she was raised and trained by 2 caring inmates and many volunteers. Diane said her most cherished memory is when one of her puppy raisers came to CPL to visit the campus and learned that he might be able to see Morgan. A reunion was arranged, and a meeting was both heartwarming and unforgettable. Morgan ran to him, wiggling and whimpering. She curled up in his lap and in his arms. She says, I think they were both crying, and I have the feeling Diane was probably crying too. It is very true when they say they always remember their puppy homes. Retired from the breeding program, Morgan has a new career as a CPL demonstration dog. She now brings joy to others, along with her wiggles and smiles as she helps spread CPL's mission. After all, who can resist this happy girl with an Ask to Pet sign on her vest? Tomorrow, Morgan will be an official member of CPL's development team. She's been doing a great job as she's been testing the waters. She will be our PR girl and represent us at many outreach events, demonstration events throughout the year. The development team is so excited to have Morgan at the office and look forward to sharing her sweet, sweet presence at meetings, tours with visitors, and at events. Congratulations, Morgan. Now I would like to introduce Val Skinner, our trainer, and she will be announcing the graduating companion and full service teams today. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I would love to introduce our graduating teams. First, I'm going to have you come up on stage after I announce you. We are going to introduce Nemours Children's Health, and the dog is Talon. He's our facility companion dog. And next we have Crystal and Dodger, our full-service team. Dodger is actually a cardiac alert dog. And our next team is Gabe and Neko. Neko is a narcolepsy cataplexy alert dog. And next we have Hannah and Braver. Braver is a full-service dog and mobility and balance and support for Hannah. Okay, Nemours Children's Health and Talent. The following individuals and organizations contributed to Talon's journey to become a medical facility companion dog. The breeder is the ABC Breeding Cooperative. The dom is Reenie. The sire is Cooper. Reenie's from CPL and Cooper's from Warrior Canine Connection. And the puppy home is Cindy and Buck Chamberlain and MCI Jessup. From Talon's puppy raiser, Cindy says, Talon's journey started in a community puppy home who shared Talon was the most high energy dog we ever raised for CPL, but he was not initially given to us as a CPL puppy. He was during COVID, so we're just keeping him for a few weeks until a transport, they thought, to Ohio was arranged. We were using very limited commands because the other organization's commands were different than Talon's and CPL's commands. So they were informed the other service dog organization would use different commands. Well, then a week or so into this, COVID shut things down. So we were asked to keep him and start his training. The biggest challenge for Talon was learning to sit for a pet. Well, he's really good at it now. So we were asked, he could go from 0 to 100 in seconds. Thankfully, he lived with many other dogs that tire him out. Some CPL were able to run and play a lot. And he learned manners from them too. Talon loved training. He loved being out in public as well. Being around our grandchildren during the pandemic really had an impact on him. And they played ball with him. He swam and cuddled with him as well. Talon never wants to miss out on a fun time. One day at a family picnic, there were many kids in the swimming pool. Talon heard the party and he decided he wanted to be in the pool as well. So he jumped right in. He got in the pool and was smack in the middle of everything. The pool basketball game was going on. This scene was repeated many times during the first year with us. This boy loves kids and he loves to swim. We could not be prouder that he has matured into such a nice dog and has this wonderful opportunity to work with the kids. He has the most beautiful smile of any dog, and he loves to wear a bow tie. We wish him the most wonderful life. Talon also spent part of his puppy raising at the Maryland Correctional Institution in Jessup, where his handlers shared. Talon is a very smart, attentive dog, stubborn at times, but listens especially to strong handlers. It sounds like he was an adolescent then. So he is stubborn at times and listens to strong handlers. He will trick less experienced handlers into believing he does not know his commands, but he is a big teddy bear. They wish Talon and his partner the best, and he came a long way in his training, and I hope he brings you joy. Another handler said, Talon is a gentle giant, very quiet, smart dog. He was one of the biggest besides Neko on height. And Talon's a good listener, very obedient. It was a joy to have him here with us. They're so proud of him. In September, Talon was placed at Nemours Children's Health as a medical facility dog. Talon will provide comfort to children who are at the medical facility, and they may be getting vaccines or will even accompany the child in the exam rooms to make the doctor visits less stressful and easier for the children. And from what I hear, he's pretty good for the staff as well. So let's hear from Dr. Mike about Nemours Children's Health and how his journey has been going with Talon.
So, you know, it took a while before we actually got Talon, and for a while we just said in our minds, well, we're never going to get a dog. And then all of a sudden you call and say, there's a dog, and we're like, are we really going to be able to do this? How is this going to work? We're all having second thoughts, but there's a dog coming. And I think from day one, Talon has shown so many things. I think as a pediatrician, one of the things that I learned is that you can't always change people's lives, but you can give them moments of joy, caring, and love. And I think that's what Talon's done over the last month in buckets. Just 3 examples. I cry sometimes when I think about it. There's an 11-year-old that was hugging Talon for about 10 minutes. And he wouldn't stop hugging Talon, and I found out that he had just witnessed abuse. And he just wouldn't let him go. And then there's a 2-year-old who just came so scared. And Talon was so gentle in taking the little nugget. She was just so proud of herself. And so many of these little kids who are scared of dogs are okay with Talon. There was also a kid with ADHD who was running all over the room, and I couldn't even talk to the parents. I brought Talon in, he sat there and pet him for 15 minutes, and I can get a good history, and I was able to know how to best treat the kid. So he's helping us in ways I didn't even think he would help us. And I think what I've learned the most is that having a dog can turn an office into a family, so thank you.
Our next full-service team are Crystal and Dodger. The following individuals contributed to Dodger's journey to be a full-service dog. Breeder is CPL. The Dom was Tessa. Namer Kelly Carpenter. And Puppy Homes Julie Gerhardt and SCI Laurel Highlands. Veterinarian sponsors are Longwood Veterinary Center, Laurel Highlands Animal Health. Dodger's journey started in a community puppy home who shared Dodger is devoted, adaptable, daring, dashing, dedicated, and delightful. Because Dodger was a pandemic puppy, he and I socialized every day at a giant grocery store. My fondest memory of Dodger was his ability to wiggle his way out of his gentle leader and head collar. He would head for the snack aisle, execute 2 somersaults with a twist, and then take off without his gentle leader. My message to Dodger and his recipient, share your love with everyone you meet. And when the handlers at SCI Laurel Highlands were asked about their journey with Dodger, they shared, what a puppy. He seemed to be way ahead of the other puppies in his commands. He was very quick to catch on to what we wanted him to accomplish. He was also, at the same time, he was also a bit stubborn. After a month, we knew he would make a great service dog. Prior to COVID, we used to take the pups to the main yard, which has a huge area for them to run and stretch their legs. When Dodger got there, he was a big, long puppy. Nobody could keep up with him. He came here to learn, and you taught us a thing or two about toughness. You're a very excited puppy, and everybody loved you. We are very proud of you, so represent, big dog. And Dodger is matched with Crystal to alert to her POTS episodes and help with service skills like tug, retrieving, carries. Dodger will also help with balance and support and bracing to get up from the floor, which sometimes when a person has an alert, they lay down on a mat, and it's really helpful to have a harness dog to help you get back up off the mat. So Crystal has bonded quickly with Dodger during team training. He adored Crystal at first sight. Dodger is so in tune with Crystal, he started to alert immediately the very first day. Dodger is actually alerting Crystal so early by her laying down before the episode has really come on full force. It's decreased the frequency and the severity of her cardiac episodes already in 3 weeks. During the zoo trip, Crystal thought Dodger was overstimulated by the animals, but in fact he was alerting to her, telling her to lay down right now. When she finally did, he settled down right next to her until the episode passed. This team is destined to do great things. Let's hear about Crystal's journey.
Good afternoon. This experience has been the adventure of a lifetime. It's hard to believe that once upon a time I used to be a very active individual. I loved going on hikes, walks, kayaking, dancing my heart out to Zumba. Then suddenly my health began to decline. My world was turned upside down. After countless doctors, I was diagnosed with postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, or as we all call it, POTS. Shout out to all my POTSies. This condition causes my heart rate to increase, my blood pressure to drop, and a slew of other issues. I have brain fog, neuropathy, fatigue, dizziness, mobility issues. I faint, just to name a few. As if POTS wasn't enough, I also have bad arthritis and a bad back. I used to be incredibly active in various organizations such as the American Cancer Society Relay for Life, the MS Walk, Out of Darkness Foundation, and many more. But it became abundantly clear to everyone but myself that something needed to change. I didn't want to admit that I was more focused on trying to help everyone else and the causes first, instead of recognizing that I was really the one that needed help. Who would have thought that a simple Google search would lead me to find Canine Partners for Life and would ultimately provide me with this handsome four-legged hero? I'm not going to lie, the wait was difficult, and at times I felt like giving up hope. But then the phone call came, and I almost dropped the phone when I heard them say, "Crystal, we found a match." To be honest, the rest of the conversation is a blur. Don't really remember anything else past that point. These past 3 weeks have been challenging, exhausting, overwhelming, and a roller coaster of emotions, but it's been the most rewarding, amazing, and eye-opening experience. My world is finally turning right side up after so long, and I can finally have the peace of mind knowing I can start living my life again. Not only just for myself, but the peace of mind also for my family and friends and coworkers who consistently worry and are concerned about me. I want to thank my husband Ron and my sons Brandon and Anthony for being my pillars of strength that have supported me from day one and held me up when I felt so weak and deflated. Thank you to my family, friends, and colleagues for always looking out for me and giving me the words of encouragement and kindness. Thank you to my puppy raiser, who did an amazing job helping this boy grow strong, healthy, and happy. Thank you, CPL, for all of your hard work and dedication for helping people like me get our lives back. And last but certainly not least, thank you, Dodger. Thank you for becoming my partner in crime, my shadow, my lifeline, and here's to the beginning of our journey, Dodgeball.
Well, congratulations. Our next team is Gabe and Neko. The following individuals and organizations contributed to Neko's journey to be a full-service dog. The breeder is Leslie Ginn, Dame Paddington, Sire Bernie, Namer Leslie Ginn. Puppy Homes Kim and Katie Blatz and MCI Jessup. Veterinary sponsors, Brownstone Animal Hospital and Dr. Paultier at Centerville Vet. Neko's journey started in a community puppy home who shared. Neko, aka McScruff, is a real sweet boy. He had many adventures with us. Ferry rides, he went to Hatteras, walks on the beach. Neko also enjoyed time with his dog friend Trey. They went on many walks together in Garden Valley Park, Brandywine Creek State Park, White Clay, and the Stroud Preserve. Sounds like he was a pretty busy puppy. Neko spent time at the Maryland Correctional Institute in Jessup, where he and his handler shared. I would describe Neko's personality as playful, full of spirit, happy, and energetic. I remember one time I was brushing my teeth and and talking at the same time, and I felt a jolt and a jiggle in my hand. When I turned to look, Neko had nicked my toothbrush. A funny moment I will never forget. My special message to Neko is give the love and the energy and the skills that are in you to where they're most needed to help someone. That's very nice. Another handler shared, Neko was always ready to train and learn. And he proved that during team training as well, didn't he? We always call him the show off. So I will never forget how he used to do the army crawl when he thought no one was looking. I am so proud to have the opportunity to work with you. Neko was a wonderful puppy and he is full of personality and joy. Neko made it so easy to train him because he was so smart and attentive to me. He appears to always be smiling and his strength was so apparent as he pulled. It's like he never realized his size, though he thought he was a small puppy. I enjoyed every moment that I spent with Neko. It was a humbling experience and a challenge that I would not take back for anything. I must admit that I was sad to see him leave, but I'm happy he will be able to serve someone. You're very lucky to get this loving dog, Neko, who will do anything to please you. A big baby in size, but very smart and alert. Neko seemed eager to learn a new task and was very affectionate to his handlers. He is a very attentive and aware of his surroundings. It was a pleasure to have Neko here and to wish him well in all he does. And another handler said, I remember when Neko arrived at MCIJ, he was a very wiry, long-legged dog with so much energy and personality, the handlers immediately fell for him. Not a day went by that Neko couldn't put a smile on somebody's face at MCIJ. He was loved by many. I remember one training where we were working on load up. His primary handler was about to have Neko load up on the jump box, which is a tiny box we have puppies load up on. And he gave the command and we saw 4 legs flying in the air, something like an elk jumping over a fence. Neko jumped so high that he was such a sweet boy. Gabriel and Neko are truly lucky to have each other. So that was from his puppy raisers. That's very nice. I like all the intimate little things we get to hear. Some of these I can relate to now as I train the dog to see these, because the actual trick that you taught him was army crawl. No wonder it was so easy. He already knew it. Neko will alert Gabe to narcolepsy and cataplexy. He will also help Gabe conserve energy with a pull and harness, with service skills such as retrieval, tug, and carry. Over the last few weeks of team training, figuring out the many facets to Neko's alerts was interesting to say the least. But on the very first day, Neko was acting goofy on our first walk down the driveway and acted like he didn't understand commands. It was quickly evident that he wanted Gabe to lay down, and Neko was right on with his alert. Gabe coined the phrase, "sure," at classes, in public, and every time I was looking for a classmate to volunteer to go first, I would just give him a look and Gabe would say, "sure." And at Halloween, Gabe dressed Neko up as a pickle. It was hysterical. He had a sign on the side, a fitting phrase that said, "the big dill." I can't wait to hear how this team succeeds. So let's hear about Gabe's journey.
So I'll be speaking on behalf of Gabe, but here are his comments. Good afternoon. Sure. Right after I turned 18, I started passing out all over the place due to narcolepsy and cataplexy. Couldn't drive, couldn't work. Well, let's face it, I really couldn't do a lot. But slowly and surely, I started finding my new normal. Sure, the bright spot was finding my wife and starting a family, but I also wanted to feel like I could contribute to our well-being, and that has been a constant struggle, not knowing if merely picking up items or taking out the trash might trigger another episode. Sure, my dad is the master of the fireman carry, but he can't always be around to pick me up. I really needed other support to become more independent. Starting to feel a trend? Sure. We waited over 5 years for a service dog, but the amazing team here was finding the right dog at the right time for the right person, me. Sure, the trainers taught us skills, but the hard work began way before we got here. We are so thankful for the puppy families, inmates, and Val, Deb, and Christina for their dedication and devotion to ensuring the success of our teams. Sure, we had to learn how to handle the power of the soft and formal harnesses, but Jerry and his mechanical crew work absolute wonders in designing unique and individual harnesses for our teams. Sure, we got to visit some amazing and pretty colorful places in Pennsylvania. But it was the planning and coordination in the background that has made our training seamless and possible. The support team has been incredible. Sure, we have built friendships between our teams, but we're really joining the greater CPL family and community. And, of course, sure, NECO triggers me about 3 minutes prior to my episodes, but it provides me that much needed confidence and independence I've been looking for. I can't thank you, Janie, and all enough for helping me in this pursuit. Thank you.
Our next partnership is Hannah and Braver. The following individuals and organizations contributed to Braver's journey to become a full-service dog. ABC Breeding Cooperative, Dame is Libby from Needs, which is another service dog organization, and Sire is Gipper from ECAD, that's another service dog organization. Carol and James Gaston are the namers. Puppy Homes, Jenny Garten and SCI Somerset. Veterinarian sponsors, Fort Washington Vet Hospital, Animal Medical Center in Somerset. Braver's journey started in a community puppy home who shared, Braver is truly the best puppy I have ever met. Even as a puppy, he had the eyes and the soul that could melt your heart. Braver is incredibly calm most of the time, but he does have a goofy side. He likes to carry toys in his mouth and weave in and out of your legs, getting butt scratches along the way. When Braver was 5 months old, we went to the Finger Lakes in New York for a wine tour. All the winery staff treated him like royalty and offered him buckets of toys, bowls of water, tons of pets. He had a blast meeting everyone and hiking in nearby trails. He especially enjoyed swimming in the creeks along the trails. Like any lab, Braver loves water and even kayaked a few times. Braver is the most amazing dog, and you two are fortunate to be paired. Braver also spent time at State Correctional Institute in Somerset, and his handlers have shared a video for you.
On November 17, 2020, the Canine Connection Dog Program at SCI Somerset was shut down due to COVID. All the dogs were removed and sent to community homes. A big thank you to all the volunteers. It was eerie not to hear a clicker or someone saying, "Good girl" or "Good boy." The mood on the housing unit and in the prison was somber, to say the least. Then on July 2nd, 2021, at almost 6 months old, Braver arrived, the first dog to jumpstart our program. And let me tell you, when Braver came to us, it was like buying a new car fully loaded. We were spoiled. His puppy home raiser did an excellent job. Immediately, you could see and feel the mood change in everyone, staff and inmates alike. Braver was the light that shone in the darkness, despite being a black lab. What a fitting analogy his story is for those who receive a service dog.
When Braver's name is brought up, so many memories come to mind. The time will not allow us to recount them all. So here are a few of them. The first is his morning ritual of getting his belly rubbed for at least 5 minutes. And then his constant walking back and forth underneath one or both of my legs while I'm sitting. Another memory is his snoring. His loud snoring. We can't count how many reports we got where Braver was at an event where everyone was quiet, and out of nowhere, everyone would hear his snoring. You have to snoring coming from underneath the table next to you, or funnier still, during the sermon of a church.
The last recollection we have was when I was pulling weeds and Braver was hanging out with me. At one point, Braver got up, walked over to me while I was on my knees and stared at me. I said, "You want to help?" In response, Braver walked in front of me, turned around, and sat in my lap. Imagine that, a 40-pound dog sitting in your lap. So I reached around and scratched Braver's belly, then leaned in and said, "You're not much help." Braver turned his head around in an instant and licked my face, then rolled on his back for a belly rub. Minimum 5 minutes, of course. To Braver's recipient, we'd like to say that we couldn't be happier knowing Braver is going to help improve your life by providing an invaluable service for you. We hope you can now face life without fear, now that Braver is at your side.
And Braver will be helping Hannah with balance and support. Over the past few weeks in team training, we've been so impressed with the support Braver has given Hannah, making it possible for her to walk to the Chili's restaurant from her vehicle on our very first trip. And the very first Sunday that they had their dogs at home, Braver actually went to church with Hannah and she walked into church with her dog. Braver is slow and steady. He truly reads her pace well and matches it perfectly. I am so proud of the bond, these two. Braver is eager to assist Hannah. It's amazing to watch his retrievals, touch buttons, go-pays, with his new go-pay wallet from our prize table at team training. At the zoo, Hannah got to experience a dream of a lifetime, to feed a giraffe with her service dog by her side. It was amazing to see Braver was so well behaved. These two are going to do big things with Hannah working full-time on top of all the other team training struggles. They have been commuting almost 3 hours a day. I can't wait to hear about the achievements these two make. Let's hear about Hannah's journey.
I would like to say thank you to CPL, the Puppy Homes, and the Puppy Prison for everything they do and the time and effort that goes into each and every dog. Also, I would like to thank my mom and family and friends for making these 3 weeks possible. With having a previous CPL dog, I knew that it would be challenging to retrain myself with another dog with the challenges that we might face. But Braver was fully ready to take on his new person, and that made it so much easier. Over the last 3 weeks, Braver and I have learned a lot together and have learned how to trust in each other. We have had our challenges of figuring out how to maneuver together and overcoming field trips and going home for the first time. But everything worked out easier and better than expected. I look forward to the future and everything that Braver will help me accomplish, from the small things to the big. Last but not least, I want to thank everybody for coming today and helping us, everyone who has come to this graduation in support of the new teams.
Now I would like to introduce to you Pat Peters. She's a former graduate and a current CPL board member.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is bringing back memories. 5.5 years ago, I was sitting on a stage like this, having spent 3 weeks with Sergeant. I waited 2 years, relatively short time, to be partnered with Sergeant. I was volunteering during that time, and I've now moved up to the board of directors. Sergeant and I continue to do outreach for Canine Partners. We're always grateful to do that. And seeing these remarkable new teams as they launch on their journeys with dogs that are already impacting their lives. Thank you to everyone for being here and for welcoming these new teams, the volunteers that continue to work with dogs so that we can have new partnerships moving along. Now I'll introduce Susan Guy, who is our COO. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pat. And I want to thank all of you for being with us today to celebrate these wonderful new partnerships. Through the commitment and dedication of person to dog and dog to person, they've developed a strong bond that will surely last a lifetime. To our teams, we wish you many occasions to smile, many quiet moments of furry hugs, and many great accomplishments and exciting adventures to come as you go forward in your lives with your new canine partner. You're strong individuals, but even stronger with your dog by your side. As you leave here today, be confident that you can achieve your goals and celebrate them now too with a happy dog by your side. And be assured that CPL will always be here to support you and assist you as needed. I'm going to read a poem now that's actually in your program. It's a poem that's been read at every graduation since CPL started. It's entitled, "He is Just My Dog." He is my other eyes that can see above the clouds, my other ears that hear above the winds. He is the part of me that can reach out into the sea. He has told me 1,000 times over that I am his reason for being, by the way he rests against my leg, by the way he thumps his tail at my smallest smile, by the way he shows his hurt when I leave without taking him. I think it makes him sick with worry when he's not along to care for me. When I am wrong, he's delighted to forgive. When I am angry, he clowns to make me smile. When I am happy, he is joy unbounded. When I'm a fool, he ignores it, and when I succeed, he brags. Without him, I am only another man. With him, I am all powerful. He is loyalty itself. He has taught me the meaning of devotion. With him, I know a secret comfort and a private peace. He has brought me understanding where before I was ignorant. His head on my knee can heal my human hurts. His presence by my side is protection against my fears of dark and unknown things. He has promised to wait for me whenever, wherever, in case I need him. And I expect I will, as I always have. He is just my dog. So this concludes, this concludes our fall graduation ceremony, and I'd like you all to now join me in giving these teams a great round of applause. They're like, what? Did I do something? I didn't get a treat for that. But we'd like you all now to join us in the lobby for refreshments. Thank you all again for being here and sharing your support with Canine Partners and these wonderful teams.